At this point, something in my head was clicking, like I don't feel right. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I do know is that I'm gonna get answers and I'm gonna find out who this freaking person is. I get a message and this is when hit the fan.
Yep, that's me.
Hey guys, it's Jazz, what's up, and welcome back to another video. So this is my first ever story time video. I actually don't know how I've never done a story time because I've had this channel for like years now. Recently this story has kind of popped into my mind again. Honestly, I don't know how I ever forgot about it because this story is shookening. I forgot how much detail there was to this story. So on the iPad, I've got like a full page of notes because so much happened that I literally forgot about. I had to sit down and put everything in chronological order and just like gather my thoughts. It was a lot. Get ready because we are about to spill the tea. So this story is about the time that I was manipulated and gaslighted by one of my followers, a literal child. Okay, so this story takes place in April 2020, so it's about almost 2 years ago now that this happened. So I had this one follower. We're gonna use a fake name. We're just gonna call them Amanda. Good old Amanda. Amanda made this, like, I guess fan account or whatever you'd call it, for myself, my best friend Liv, and my sister Layla, where she'd make edits of us and she'd post things. It was really cute. And there was also another girl who did similar edits and things like that, and her name is, let's just say, Christina. We have Amanda and Christina. So Amanda and Christina both have really cute like fan accounts, I guess, where they'd make edits and they kind of became friends, or like they knew each other from online. And I had known Amanda probably for like, I'd say a few months at least, and Christina, I'd known her for like a few years. So Christina, maybe since like 2017 or 18. I had guested Amanda before on live stream, like she was really, really sweet. That was the only time I'd ever like spoken to her face to face, because other than that, it was mostly like me commenting on things and whatever. And Amanda was very young. Christina was like a few years older than Amanda. So in April 2020, this random like group chat was made, which didn't exist before, and it had myself, Liv, Layla, so my best friend and my sister, and Amanda and Christina. It was Amanda that sent the first message, and she basically just sent like a screenshot of an Instagram DM, and it was pretty much like this account that was harassing her. This account, I'm just gonna say their name because I'm pretty sure the name of the person isn't the same as the account anyway. The account was called Emma TXO. So obviously if TXO is part of my username, a lot of our like fandom usernames have TXO in them. So it was someone who was part of the squad apparently. I was like, oh my god, someone from like our own squad or fandom or whatever you want to call it is literally like harassing Amanda. In the group chat, Amanda sent us like some screenshots and they were just being really rude and nasty, and I was like, I just can't stand that. I hate cyberbullying, do not tolerate it. So I looked at the messages in the screenshot and I was like, this is not on. Like, I'm so sorry that this happened, because I somewhat felt responsible. Like, this is my community, and for someone to be like bullying someone else within the community, just, it makes me really upset. Like, I hate it, hate it. And then Christina also said that she was receiving things from them as well. So both Amanda and Christina were being harassed by this account. So we're like, this is really strange. But myself, Liv, and Layla were like, hey girls, like maybe let's just block and report them, and like, so sorry that this happened, especially because they're young. It can be dangerous being online and like not knowing who you're talking to. So at some point, Amanda figures out that she knows the person who was sending the message because it was linked to some TikTok account. Maybe it was in their bio. I can't remember how this linked. I couldn't find it in the old messages. Somehow she realized that the account was linked to a TikTok page for this other girl. So anyway, Amanda was like, this is really weird, but like I found this other account. I think it's this girl, like it was connected to her account and this is her TikTok. Here's what she looks like. And she sent us a photo and we're like, okay, so maybe this is Emma TXO. So Amanda says to us, I think my friend has been framed. And by framed, I think she meant like she's been either hacked or she's being like, someone's making her post something. I don't know exactly what she meant by that, but she said that she thinks her friend is being framed. So Amanda gets a video of who we thought was Emma TXO, and the video was that girl basically just saying like, hey guys, I'm so sorry, this wasn't me. I really hope you guys believe me. Like, I wouldn't do something like this. It was like an actual proper video of her like letting us know that it wasn't her. So I was like, okay, like I didn't really understand, like, is she pretending? Like, what's going on here? Like, do we believe her? Because this is apparently Amanda's friend. Like, do we believe this or do we not? Like, who knows? I'm getting thirsty. It's just the first few minutes. Amanda says, I do have a friend called Emma, but I'm hoping that it's not her. And we're like, okay. So after all that mess went down and we had told them just block the accounts, ignore them, whatever, like stay safe, they blocked them and that was the end of it. We didn't hear anything about it. So that group chat from then pretty much just became like the girls sending us like edits they would make, or just saying, hey, like, how was your day? Just, you know, just normal chat. So fast forward to 1 month later, we're now in May of 2020. So it was the start of May that we get another message now from Amanda. I open the group chat, she goes, here we go again. It's another screenshot. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. I open the screenshot and this time it was worse. This time the message was using like such horrible language that I was like, if this is a kid, I'm actually disgusted. How do these kids even know these words? The amount of profanity in this message, it was just like racial slurs, derogatory terms, like swearing. It was just disgusting. This time, the account was again another fan page called Dino TXO, and I'm like, who's this Dino TXO account? First of all, not only was the message horrible, but the message was written like some freaking Pretty Little Liars-ish. The message pretty much was saying things like, I've been here since 2015, which is a lie because in 2015, like, I wasn't even making TikToks. Anyway, it was like, I've been here since 2015, she's mine, I'm gonna hunt you down. And then the end of the message literally said, it's me, Emma TXO, I'm back. I read this and I was in shock. Now I was just even more upset. I'm like, the fact that there's someone this relentless in my community, or so I thought was in my community, who's now going around harassing like my other followers who are young, it just made me so upset, and I was getting so angry, and I was like, we need to figure out what's going on here because I can't deal with this. Myself, Liv and Layla are just so annoyed. Amanda and Christina are like, this is just so wrong, what's going on? So again, this time we're like, please, like, just block them, report them. At this point, I'm like, I'm taking matters into my own hands because I just cannot stand cyberbullying. So anyway, I look up this account, I go to DM them, and when I message this account, I'm like, hello. They go, hi, how are you? Blah, 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 acting all sweet and innocent. I was like, you're joking right now. Oh, boiled my blood. I sent them a whole freaking paragraph that I'd written, and I was like, this is not okay. Like, you can't be bullying people, you can't be harassing, blah, 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 blah. This person turns around, they pull a 180 on us. I can't exactly remember what they replied, but they said something about like, well, Team Jazz is toxic anyway, or some stupid thing that they were saying. And I was like, what are you going on about? Like, we're the toxic ones. Right. Okay, so anyway, I got back into the group chat and I said, hey guys, like, we've tried to sort it out, we've sent them a message, hopefully this is the end of it, that kind of thing. I said to them, like, if you ever need anything, like, let us know, we're like your older sisters, like, we've got your back, if something like this happens, like, make sure you let us know. So I sent a screenshot to the group chat to let them know this is what I sent her, hopefully she stops now. And then Amanda replies like, how are we the toxic ones, like, when she's sending messages like that? I'm like, I know. So for the rest of the night, everything was all good. Again, blocked this second account, and that was the end of it. Until the next freaking day. The next day at about 8 PM, I get a message, and this is when hit the fan. This person, this Emma TXO, was back again, but this time she was in full force. I've not read more disgusting messages in my life. So outrageously horrible. I was just in pure shock. When I read these, I was like, I was talking to Liv and Layla, and we were just so angry at this point. We're like, this is getting out of hand. We've blocked them once, we've blocked them twice. This is why I'm so glad, by the way, that there's the feature on Instagram now. When you block someone, you can block all accounts they create so that they can't continue to create more accounts and harass you. So this time they were actually including other names. They were including names of like my friends. They were including like Phil. They mentioned Liv, Layla. They mentioned like Amanda and Christina. They basically mentioned everyone, and they just said, except for me, and they were just like, these people are all this and that and blah, 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 blah. Jasmine is the best woman in the world. Like, really weird messages. And at the end of this one, it says, Emma TXO is back in the house. Blank. Very disgusting word I don't even want to mention on here. So anyway, Amanda and Christina were shocked again, and they're like, this is getting out of control. Again, for the third time, I'm like, we just have to block them. We have to report them again. I literally don't know what else to say. It was just getting to that point where we just had to continue blocking them. But I was like, I want to investigate this further and get this person off our pages, off the internet. Goodbye. Literally, goodbye. Up until this point, I had all the receipts because everything I just mentioned, or almost everything, was written in DM. From this point is where the last message I could see, like today when I was scrolling on my phone, the last message said, Jazz, what's going on? And that was the end of it. This was the turning point where things really got out of hand. So from this point onwards, I'm relying on a few screenshots I have. I'm relying on my memory, and that's pretty much it. And I've written everything down to try and jog my memory, but like based on the small bits of evidence that I have. This is where things got out of control. Because this was happening so much, myself, Liv and Layla were like, okay, what if we got on like a group call with Amanda and Christina, and we just basically said like, guys, please tell us what is going on. Like, is this all of it? Is this all you know? Is there anything else we need to know? Is there anything suspicious going on here? Because I was like, why are they continuously, just the two of them, receiving these same messages? I want to make sure that they're telling us like all the details. We got on this call and we're pretty much just asking them about it, and from what I remember, I'm pretty sure they were literally just telling us like the same things we already knew, what was happening. They were shocked, we were shocked, that was that. So we're like, okay, that's it. They were both just as upset as we were. So at this point, what we knew was that Emma and Dino TXO, both of these accounts, these fake accounts, both of them are related to, because apparently this is friend who we saw on TikTok, right? Who was apparently being framed or set up. And we're like, why are they related to Why are her friends like this? Something's a bit off. It doesn't make much sense. Like if she thought it was her friend, but suddenly she's acting just all scared, but she's not really going into much detail about the fact that it was her friend, so she thought, we're like, something doesn't seem right. At this point, we got on a call just with Christina, because we've known Christina for a few years. Like I said, with Amanda, I had only just known her for like a few months, which I still felt like she seemed really, really sweet from what I knew. But I just wanted to get on a call, us and Christina, and just ask her like, hey, can we just like talk about this? Like, are you sure there's nothing we don't know? So we get on a call with Christina, and Christina just starts saying, that's literally all I know. She's like, it's exact same. Like she's been messaging me on the side, and she's been saying that she's being harassed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And they were both just talking about it in separate DM apparently as well. At this point, something in my head was clicking, like, I don't feel right about Amanda anymore. I just feel like she's too into this. She's messaging so frequently about how this is happening. It's always her, not so much Christina anymore. Because in my head I was so confused and just so like overwhelmed by what was going on, and the fact that I felt like I was so taken advantage of, because as someone who really like takes pride in my community and, you know, making sure that everyone's like friendly and like spreading love and just being kind to each other, that really hit a spot and I just lost it. I started bawling my eyes out. Like I was just in tears. I was on this call. Imagine me just like talking on the call with Liv and Christina, and I'm just here like blah blah blah, and mid conversation I put the phone facing the ceiling. I'm like they could just literally hear me crying like like I'm not talking just like a tear, I'm talking sobbing, and I was like like full on crying. I think they thought I was laughing at first, and I was like, Jazz, are you okay? Like, are you laughing? And then I showed my face. I'm like, I'm sorry, like it's just really affecting me, blah blah blah. Like I was just so upset. And I know it's funny now, but like in the moment it was not funny. I was literally genuinely so upset. Okay, so your girl was having a little moment. I was sad, whatever, I was angry, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I do know is that I'm gonna get answers, and I'm gonna find out who this freaking person is, because I'm over it. So we got off the call with Christina, I got on a call with Liv, and we're like, we're gonna find out. We're gonna call this Dino account and we're gonna see who picks up. Who's gonna answer if we give them a call? Oh my god, my eye's twitching. Am I that stressed about this story? Oh my god, what is going on? So we messaged this Dino account, hey, can we please just do a quick call? Just want to ask you a question. Just acting very casual so that they could pick up. So we messaged them and they were like, sorry, like I'm busy, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, can you please just spare like 1 minute? Okay, what we mostly wanted to do was just to get on and see who this person was, hear their voice, see their face, try and figure out who they are and make any connections. They get on the call, but they don't show their face. We're like, can you please like show us who you are just so we know who this is? And they were like, no, I don't know what they said. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to push them to like show their face. I was like, so who is this? Like we were trying to figure out, who are you? They might have said Emma. I honestly don't remember. At some point in that call, which again, my memory is a little bit blurred here, but I do remember that they turned on their camera and they were in complete darkness. They weren't showing their face properly because they knew that they didn't want to show, like reveal who they were, but they kind of just, you could see their eyes because they were in the dark and their eyes were like a light color, distinctly blue. That's all I could see. I didn't know what they looked like. So based on that, they weren't the person on TikTok who we had seen, which was apparently Amanda's friend who was being framed. It wasn't her, it was someone else. And we're like, who is that? Is this the person who's framing Amanda's friend? What's happening? So like I said, all we had seen were their eyes, and we're like, okay, this is who the person is. We basically told them like, can you please just stop? Like this is getting out of control. Like please stop harassing, stop messaging people, just stop. It's just not okay. They were like, okay, whatever. I don't remember what we said on the call. I just know that we told them like it's not right. So we hung up. Now at this point I was like, okay, I said to Liv, we both know right now what this person's eyes looked like on the call. If we can get on a call now with Amanda and Christina, because I think the first time Amanda and Christina maybe didn't show their face, which is why I wanted to get on again, because I didn't fully remember what Amanda's face looked like. Like I said, she was a fan account. She mostly just posted edits, but I knew that I had spoken to her once on Instagram guesting, and when I did, it was a one-off, not even 5 minutes, and it was a few months ago. So I didn't really remember what Amanda looked like. I'm like, I just want to get on, and I just want to see like what Amanda looks like. Christina, we already knew what she looked like, so I'm like, let's just get on this call and see what's going on. So we get on one last time. This time, when they answer the call, camera's on, I look at the screen, I look at Amanda's face, and immediately in my head, those were the exact eyes that we just saw when we video chatted with Emma TXO / Dino TXO. When I tell you, my heart actually sank. The moment that they answered and I was looking at Amanda's eyes, and I was like, I know those eyes are the exact eyes that we just spoke to, or at least I was 99% sure. I didn't know what to say. I was in pure shock. Even though part of me was like a bit unsure, I was honestly thinking like in the back of my mind, there's no way that someone who's been this supportive for months on end, who makes edits, who have guested on Instagram and was the sweetest person ever, all this stuff, for months can suddenly turn around like this. I'm literally just looking at my screen in shock. This time on the video chat, Amanda's whole expression was like a different person. This is the part that I almost couldn't unsee in my mind because of the fact that I'd never seen someone like switch so fast. This person who I thought I knew, who was like this really nice, like sweet girl, like when I guessed her on Instagram, she was really like shy and she's like, hi, like blah, blah, blah. This time on the video chat, her face was just blank. It was like, I genuinely don't know how to describe it. It was like just numb, just completely numb, looking at the screen like this. This was like a shock, because if you think in your head that you know exactly who someone is and you've associated them with all these traits, to suddenly see them in a completely different light was absolute like shock horror. Like I was just speechless. I'm looking at this girl, I'm thinking two shocks at once. First of all, why is she acting so weird? Second of all, her eyes match this Emma TXO to a T. Do they just look alike, or what is it? Because it was just the eyes that I recognized. Actually, something I forgot to mention is that earlier in the story, when we had video chatted with Amanda and Christina the first time, Amanda sent a message in the chat saying something about, by the way guys, sorry if my face was a little bit red, like the heater's on in my room and it's really hot. Okay. The second that everything clicked and Amanda was acting weird as heck, I remember on this call, I've never gotten on a call and not said anything. I'm the type of person that as soon as I get on a call, I try and make things like feel comfortable. I'm like, hey, like what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I'll try and start chatting. This was like the one time that I've gotten on a call and had not one word to say. The second, like I said, when I saw her face, I'm pretty sure I just hung up instantly. I was in shock. I started messaging Liv, it's her, oh my god, it's Amanda. Guys, we were at this point 99% sure that this entire time Amanda has been manipulating us to think they're being harassed by some random account called Emma TXO, when really Amanda was literally behind everything. She's like the mastermind. All of the accounts were Amanda. Obviously, I hadn't said anything to them yet. Amanda had no idea that I was now with Liv and Layla 99% sure that it's her. They didn't know. They just thought we were getting on the call, and then randomly I hung up. What was going on? I started messaging the chat. I'm like, what's going on, guys? Is there something that we need to know? I honestly at this point was questioning, were they teaming up? I was like, if one betrayed me, did they both betray me? Which I feel terrible that I even thought that, because Christina is like the nicest person in the world. But at the time, when you completely think that someone's manipulating you, you're like, are they working together? Like, what's happening? I was so confused. Like, my whole judgment was just probably like all over the place. I messaged the group chat. I'm like, what's going on? You know, is there something we need to know? Because guys, this is getting awfully suspicious. So at this point, I don't think they knew what we were talking about. Christina starts going, I'm scared. Like, what's going on? Then Amanda starts following. I'm scared too. Oh my god. And I'm only 10. She was, guys, this girl was literally 10. The audacity, 10 years old. How has she come up with such an intricate plan? Like, how has she come up with all of this? Like, for her to be able to sit there and come up as she's writing all this with the fact that it's her friend that's being manipulated, and then to be able to go to her friend and get her friend, mind you, to send us a video to say, hey guys, it's not me. Why should her friend have to defend herself? Because her poor friend wasn't even involved in this. At least that's what I think. I'm pretty sure this was completely Amanda's plan on her own, using multiple accounts to harass not only Christina, but to harass herself on another account. Absolutely insane. We were going to keep messaging now until she confessed, because I'm like, I'm not going to leave it right here. I'm going to get that confession from her so I know officially it's her, block her on her main account, done and done. We're like, we know it's you, we know what you've done, blah, 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 just basically making her confess. What do you know? The lies and everything start coming out. We said, we know it was you answering on those other accounts. What are you trying to say? And she's like, oh, it was my friend's account, but they asked me to answer the call for them, and then I got scared and I hung up. What? The way this person thinks on their toes like that, they came up with a lie. Every time we'd say something, they would be able to respond to it immediately, and making it something that actually could have potentially been believable. Like, if we weren't switched on and didn't even think about those things, we definitely could have believed it. Now, eventually, she finally sends a message to Christina, and she says, Christina, I'm really sorry, that was never me that said those words. I never meant any of them, and my friend took advantage of me and made me an idiot. I'm sorry. Jazz, Layla and Liv blocked me and they unfollowed me, and I'm so sorry. I'm such a bad person and a bad friend. I'm probably gonna be blocked too. Going on and on with the gaslighting and just being absolutely like manipulative to the max. Poor Christina for having to deal with all of this and thinking that they were in the same boat when really it was just Christina being harassed. Amanda, was in on it the entire time. This is the part that gets me. Throughout this entire time, she's been saying so many different things that would try and get her sympathy. Like she was saying, oh my god, I'm only 10. I would take all the hate from you guys. It doesn't bother me. It's just the fact that they come to Team Jazz, and if you were a real fan, you wouldn't do that. Like just saying all this stuff that was the complete opposite to the other personality that we eventually saw. And it's like, to me, I'm just shocked by the fact that someone can come up with such an elaborate lie and just be able to keep it up for so long. Like being able to do it 1 month ago and then coming back a month later to continue, whilst in between making edits, talking to us normally, trying to be like friendly. How can one go from that personality to another like that? No, it just blows my mind. First of all, no hate, because like I said, it was literally a kid, and I feel really sorry for her. The fact that like she obviously has had some kind of, I don't know whether it's trauma or like something really deep that has maybe hurt her in the past, whether she was bullied or whether it's something at home. I don't know what it is, but whatever has happened to her, it must have been bad, because to come up with all of this and to be like, to have a mind that twisted at such a young age was like, something's not right. So I personally, I just hope that she's gotten over it somehow and maybe like worked through whatever her issues were, because there were issues, that's for sure. But yeah, it's just, it's so sad. Like it almost gives me chills, because remembering like her face in that moment was horrifying. And I know we're talking about someone who's like young, but honestly, it was so scary. It was almost like watching like Orphan or something. Like that moment when you find out, if you haven't seen it, then don't listen to this, spoiler alert. But like in that moment when you realize that all this time she looks like a little kid, but she's actually like 30 something years old. It's like that. It's just creepy. Moral of the story: you never know who you're talking to online. You never know if they're trustworthy. Stay safe. But if you guys do want more story times from me, let me know, because I really actually enjoyed making this. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button if you're new to Team Jazz. That was the story time about that time I was manipulated by one of my followers. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Woke up at 11 o'clock, I ain't got no job, what the hell should I do today? This